And next question is, I am a vegetarian for over 12 years. I don't like meat. I know it is not good for my body and logically I abstain from it. But in meditations, I have thoughts of it. It is still in my subconscious mind. Is it still in my subconscious mind? And how to strengthen my discipline for vegetarian food?
No, don't judge too much. Thoughts will come, thoughts will go. Some weird thoughts will come in meditation also. Some weird thoughts will come in not in meditation also. And we cannot judge ourselves by the thoughts we have. Okay, so don't say, oh, is it in my subconscious mind? Thoughts come and go. Good thoughts come and go. Bad thoughts come and go. When we go to a market, we buy bananas. Can we tell the banana vendor, we have to buy the bananas along with the peels? The peels appear to be garbage, but they're equally important. In fact, the peels come first and then the banana grows inside it. So in the same way, when we bring the banana home, we eat the banana and put the peel into the basket. So the positive and negative thoughts all come hand in hand. You cannot separate them when they come. But afterwards you choose the thoughts which you want to act on, and discard the thoughts which you want to not use, including the negative thoughts, isn't it? But with thoughts, usually it is the reverse. The positive thoughts go into the garbage, and the negative thoughts we hold on to, and then we hold it against us. I'm not a good person because I have these negative thoughts. It's in my subconscious mind, unconscious mind, this mind, that mind. Doesn't matter where it is, isn't it? These are just thoughts. Don't give it too much importance. Okay, so choose the thoughts which you want to act upon and just discard. Sometimes when you go, especially in the Indian markets in the rainy season, when you buy spinach, the spinach is full of garbage. Very few leaves of spinach can be used. So my mother used to pick out the good ones from that also, and all the garbage used to go into the dustbin. So sometimes there are days when we are having much more negative thoughts than the positive thoughts. But from then also choose the positive thoughts. We require 2-3 positive thoughts to function in our life. Rest of it is anyway happening. We wake up in the morning on time, we brush our teeth, we take a bath, many things, we go to our work. Few thoughts here and there we require to guide us. The rest of the time our life is anyway being guided. It's all like a railway track. The stations which come every day are the same, isn't it? So once in a while you require few thoughts, and those few thoughts in the thousands of negative thoughts is enough in a day to take you forward. So don't judge yourself. Take life very lightly, especially the thoughts. Okay.
Thank you, Bhayan. Next question is, how is awareness connected with karma?
Yeah, awareness, karma can happen with awareness also, and karma can happen without awareness also. And karma is something which supersedes everything. There is no state called no karma. Okay, even sleep is a karma. Even sitting in a place and doing nothing is a karma. And standing up and doing something is also karma. So karma is something, there is no escape from actions. Okay. So when awareness comes and when devotion arises, then what happens? We feel little disconnected. We feel a distance from the karmas we do, actions we take or inactions we take. And that is freedom from karmas. I am not, Ashtavakra Gita, the shloka is there, no, na kartasi, na bhoktasi. I am not the doer of the karmas, and I am not the experiencer of the karmas also. And that is the only way you can become free. That is what Ashtavakra is telling Janaka. Na kartasi, na bhoktasi, mukta evasi sarvada. Knowing that you are not the doer and you are not the experiencer, you be free all the time. So that awareness, if it leads you to not being the doer and experiencer, then karma does not touch you. You are acting, you are doing everything, but you are doing it from a distance. Not a physical distance, but a subtle mental difference you are experiencing. Okay.
Okay. There's the next question. Does the subtle world or lokas also run on rules? Like we have ethics and morals in our current world. What are the ethics of the subtle world?
I don't think so. Ethics and morals are there, but not everyone follows. In fact, most of the people don't follow it, isn't it? And ethics and morals are so relative, different for different people. It is different, isn't it? For a doctor, the ethics and morals are different. For a lawyer, the ethics and morals are different. For a spiritual leader, the ethics and morals are different. For a army person, the ethics and morals are different. So it changes from place to place and time to time. And there are so many religious denominations in the world. All their ethics and morals are not the same. So here also in the world, what is that standard ethics and morals? It does not exist. And beyond that also, every human being thinks ethically different and morally different. For them, their morals and ethics are different. They set their own standards. So if there is so much freedom here, then other lokas should also have that freedom, no? To decide to do what you want to do and not to, isn't it? And where there are going to be people, there are going to be variety of all such views and viewpoints. So I don't think so all the other lokas are also very boring. Yet I don't claim that that I know what is there. This is just my assumption that this is what it is going to be. Okay. And stories, Puranas are full of stories of gods also fighting with each other, no? They are sending apsaras here and there, they are fighting with each other, friction here, there, somebody is hiding, somebody is running away. All that drama is happening in the god world also. So if it is happening in the god world, then for sure it is happening in the demonic world also. Demonic world, so automatically it will happen. There is nothing to talk about there, isn't it? So just enjoy, we go to the other world, we experience this for ourselves, what it is. So one last question, Dhruv.
Yes, Ben. The question is how to be free from the feeling of revenge.
See, the more we resist certain feelings, the more they persist. So if you have a feeling of revenge, let it be there. Okay? And you keep on doing Sudarshan Kriya, you keep on doing meditation. And sometimes things are not in your control. Even if you say, I'm not going to get angry, that person comes in front of you and something explodes and you shout and you end up doing something nasty to that person. It automatically happens, isn't it? So the best thing is keep on doing Sudarshan Kriya and allow things to happen naturally. Okay? If you say, I should not do this and I should not do that, then that spontaneity is lost. And when the spontaneity is lost, the negative starts overpowering the positive. Okay, so be spontaneous. Let's see when that person comes in front of me, let's see what happens. I might explode, I might not explode. I might take my revenge, I might not take my revenge. Let's see what happens. So the more pre-decided we are, that much more stress it creates in us, and that much more negativity it will create. So sometimes we need to teach a person a lesson. Sometimes we get the opportunity, sometimes we don't get the opportunity. Sometimes we have to wait for the opportunity. Sometimes things happen and we end up doing something. Situations. So the possibilities are there. So rather than saying I should not be feeling this and I should not be feeling this, I am feeling this and let me meditate. Let me do my Sudarshan Kriya. Let me do an advanced meditation program. If it needs to go away, it will go away. If it is there, I play with it and go along with it and see what happens. Okay. So good, Dhruv. Wonderful questions. People are showing a lot of interest and asking such nice questions.
Yes.
So good. It was wonderful having all of you here for this program. Every week we are just adding more and more viewers, and you are part of that growth. Please keep on supporting us. Keep on sending questions to Dhruv, The beautiful part about these sessions are these questions are asked very spontaneously. I don't know what the answers are, and whatever my viewpoint is, I share. So in the various viewpoints you have in your life, this is one more which might give you some more clarity. So wonderful having you here, and till the next week, goodbye from both of us. Be happy, be joyful, spread joy, and keep supporting us. Thank you and bye bye. Jai Gurudev.